Okay, and after that, is there any at this point, had you gotten married or not yet?
So to get to the point of marriage, so it was around the youth camps. Now when the youth, after now IBEA had stopped being so interactive with the youth, because now light had started shifting towards something called GAP.
What does GAP stand for? If you remember, I've never heard.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It was. I can't even remember what it was, but it was like it was the name change and all that transition that that many of us who started off at Light were not fully agreeable with. GAP changed to catch college age students or college age something. I don't know.
I think we let those who are watching and you are that age tell us what GAP means.
We didn't, we somehow, for some reason, I didn't connect with those ministries. So for that time, I was on a hiatus from church, youth ministry and stuff like that. So after a few years, a friend of mine encouraged me to go to camp, one of the youth camp. It was a GAP camp, ironically. And it was in Malindi. And so she told me, hey, Mwema, let's go for this camp. It's been a while since we did youth stuff. Let's go. And so I went, and that was in 2003. So I went to the camp. Of course, I know there are many people watching this. But we had gone with a couple of us guys, and we had said, as we're just going to interact with girls and find out who we can hook up with and stuff like that, just being boys being boys. So we went with a number of us guys, and so at the camp, I had arrived late. Actually, there were two buses. Our bus to Malindi, the one I was in, arrived late, so it was dinner time. Actually, it was way past dinner time, and I remember I was queuing for food, and I see this young lady, and I say, she looks nice. So I started off with a very cheap line. I went and asked her, hey, is anyone in the line with you? Can I join in? To cut that long story short, 21 years later, we're still married.
Wow.
Not to say we got married immediately. We've been married 16 years, going to 17, but that was the beginning of my walk into marriage. At that time, I was 22. Yes.
So at least those camps have done something for you.
I encourage people to go for camps.
That's
they're a good meeting ground.
That's interesting. And so that means she was also in Baptist.
Yes, she was. And for a long time, she had been. And ironically, for all those 20 years, I'd never noticed her. Because ironically, in kindergarten, we were in the same class. There are photos of us we have photos of us in the same kindergarten. But we did not know each other. Or rather, I think she knew of me, but I knew not of her. So somehow God navigated this whole thing and brought us together.
And after you met, how was the journey to the wedding or to marriage? How was that for you?
Very interesting. So as I said, I'd gone to this camp with a couple of friends, and we had gone hunting. Let us just say we're going to look for girls. I remember at the end of the camp, I had come out with a few phone numbers. Her number was like number 3 or 4 on the list. So when we come back to Nairobi, the camp was around, was it in August? In one of those holiday times, I can't remember. And I had gone through my list of phone numbers. Try this one, not working. This one, not a chance. This one. So by the time I got to her, I hadn't really thought of her. It was when I was walking to university. So USIU, is in Kasarani. this school bus used to pick us up at Givenchy. And coming from where I lived, I'd either drop off at GPO or at railways, and then walk, depending on which mode of transport, either by bus or by matatu, whichever I had come with. So one of those days, as I was walking from railways to Givenchy to catch the bus, in between, somewhere around Mwema Avenue, but on the inside streets, near Tamarind, I'm walking, and I see a face. I look at her and I say, oh yeah, I remember seeing this girl. So we talk. I ask her, hey, you're so and so. And her name is Maxine. I asked her, hey, you're Maxine. And she said, yes. So we ended up just walking, now casual talking, walking, asked, small talk. Asked her, where are you going? She said she's going to her father's office, which was on Harambee Avenue. So when we walked that distance, we got to Harambee Avenue, she branched off, and me continued walking. I said, hey, okay, it was nice to meet you again. Yeah, so we'll see you sometime. That you just talk cordially and say, we'll see you sometime. Whether or not you'll actually see each other, you don't know. May proceeded. Now, the same week, ironically, I am coming from USIU. Now, for me to go back home, I'd walk from Givenchy again now to Kencom. And at this stage, I see the same girl again, and I'm like, hey, what's this? We've met again. Now, she was going to catch a bus to her home. She lived in Langata, and so she told me, I'm going to my house in Langata, and I told her, hey, I'm also going home. So, hey, it was nice to bump into you again. We chat a bit, blah, 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 and we depart. At that time, I'm in the bus, and I'm thinking, hey, what are the odds of meeting the same girl twice in a week? What are the odds? And having a decent conversation. So I went home, and by that time it was afternoon. I said, you know what, I'm going to surprise this person. I think I had figured out where she lives. She had told me where she lives. I'd managed to get that information from her. And I got into my vehicle, drove down to Langata. In case I mixed things up, I think that's what I did. And I found her home, and I'm like, hey, I have come to see you. She said, what are you doing here? I said, I've come to visit you. And that was the beginning of the relationship. Yeah.
That was interesting, even the confidence to drive to her home.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. And how long after that did you get married?
That was I can tell you, in 2004, to be precise, April 19th is when I asked her out. We had spent time together, talking to each other, her making fun of me. We laugh about it till now. Then at that point is when I realized, hey, she looks like somebody serious that I can marry, because not even marry, get together with as my girlfriend, because I mean, over the years I'd had failed relationships many years ago, and I think I'd whispered to Mungu. I told him, I'm not going to get another girlfriend until you point me to somebody who's going to be my girlfriend and my wife, and that's it. So in between were many failed trying. You try talking to a girl, she didn't work out, blah, blah, blah. So I think by that time I had gathered confidence to know this was going to be my girlfriend. So that time I asked her out, and we dated for about 4 years. And in 2008 we got married. In June 7th we got married.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Congratulations for that. So maybe we go back to after the first internship. Did you continue that field, or where did the story, or is there any major thing that happened during that time?
So after internship, soon after that, I'd begun working for my mom in my early 20s. So I had held kind of two things. So in that internship, I was just doing administrative work. Let me call him Fosheki. And I was doing administrative work for Sheki, just the paperwork, He'd take me to a few sites here and there. It was a very good experience. At home, I was my mother's accountant, bookkeeper, because she had a counseling practice. So I used to just check the books are in order. So I had gained that administrative background from an earlier age. So I was pretty confident, and still am, of my administrative skills, and knowing my way around finances, and you know, I still take an interest in economics and understand things to do with money. So that led me to, after my internship, I got a post at an NGO called World Relief. And I started off actually as a receptionist. And after 2 months, I was moved to be now administrative assistant. And I helped with the admin work, and the finance person was interested in me. She said, hey, you can join me in finance. I joined finance. I did a lot of the accounting, then moved. From there, I got bored with accounting at that time, after a few years, and said, I want to be more involved, because it was an NGO. I said, I want to be more involved with the people. So I moved towards the community aspect. So I became a program manager. So I rose to become the level of the economic development program manager, until I left the place after 8 years in 2014.